What's up, guys? It's Ted from Retro. I'm just here today with a list of my favorite Pokemon games in order from least favorite to favorite. And I want to start off by saying this is just my opinion. I like all of these games, and this was pretty much really hard to order except for the last one. So, let's go. So number 6 has to go to Black and White. This is my least favorite Pokemon game. This is the only game I can remember, strongly disliking, while playing. It's a Pokemon game, so it's still fun, but I just didn't really like it. As you're playing through the game and you get 8 badges, you're like, yes, get to go on to the Elite Four, and this is going to be awesome. Instead, you beat the Elite Four, and then you realize I'm halfway through the game. At this point, I thought the game was over, and that there were just going to be stuff on the side at this point, and there wasn't. And so, I really just wasn't into that, and how they kind of just stretched the game out way more than any game before that. Okay, number 5. Now this one is going to come at a shock to most people, okay? So I apologize. Number 5 goes to 2nd Gen. Now I know, that might sound crazy because 2nd Gen is everybody's favorite, but you just gotta hear me out. This is the only game that I didn't start playing from the beginning. I started with Yellow, that was my first game, and then I jumped to 3rd Gen. I had Gold for a few days and then I lost it, so I never actually got to play it. And so that's kind of my reason for that. I feel like games are always more fun when it's in the moment and your friends are playing at the same time and stuff like that, but that just wasn't happening at that time. Okay, so number 4 goes to 3rd Gen. Now 3rd Gen is the game that I got after Yellow, like I just mentioned, and I loved it playing. I remember being like, what, you can play as a girl? That's so awesome. I don't even know why, but I'm going to play as a girl anyway, just because I can. And so I did that, and that, my grandpa got me that game, randomly one day, but I just remember just absolutely loving it, wanting to, play through it over and over and over to start with different starters, and I'm actually replaying through this right now, because there are a lot of good Pokemon that I just didn't have the patience to go and catch. I feel like that's how it is with a lot of the Pokemon, and those games are like Flygon and Salamander, too. It just takes a long time to get them, and you can't get them until real late in the game. So number 3 goes to X and Y. This is the only game that I have pre-ordered and then went to the midnight release. The only other one that I've pre-ordered will be number 1, which I'll talk about later on. But at first I was kind of skeptical about X and Y. I felt like I was buying it just because it was the new Pokemon game, if that makes sense. Like I said, Black and White, I didn't really like, and so I didn't really know if I was going to be that interested in the Pokemon series past that. I didn't even play Black 2 and White 2 just because I did not like Black and White, at all. But I got it, and I absolutely loved it. I was really worried about the 3D graphics and not being on the grid and being able to move wherever you want, but it ended up being amazing. I loved it. It felt so smooth. I also loved the Mega Evolutions. A lot of people who hate them, Gen 1ers, I don't get it. I think they're a ton of fun, and they're totally awesome, because I was I got X, and I was like, yes, Charmander, let's go, Tresnite X, this is going to be amazing, and yeah. Alrighty, number 2 goes to 1st Gen. And the reason I picked 1st Gen is the first game that I got. Special Edition Yellow is the first game I got, and I thought it was incredibly hard, because I was 4 and didn't understand types and weaknesses and all of that, and I just couldn't beat Brock because all I had was stupid Pikachu. And then eventually, I went on to beat Brock, eventually. That was incredible. But yeah, this is the only game that I find myself going back to over and over and over and playing. It's the first game and pretty much the only game that I've actually gone through and caught them all. On an emulator, not on Gen 1, which I think emulators just ruin games, which I'll probably make another video about. But I'm just constantly going back to this game. It's so much fun. I can just sit down and beat this game in 2-3 days on emulator. No big deal. It's awesome. So that's pretty much the only reason for picking Gen 1. And number 1 goes to Gen 4. And the reason that it goes to Gen 4 is because I have more memories playing this game than any of the other Pokemon games up until this point. I remember pre-ordering Diamond, and all of my friends also went ahead and pre-ordered as well, and so that was like totally awesome. Platinum was also really, really good. What I personally liked about it is this came out like when I was in the 5th grade, so the 3D graphics that they added were actually pretty well done at the time. I also love the new Pokemon. I felt like I had waited forever for the new Pokemon game to come out, and Emerald was amazing, and so I was just had high hopes. And the main thing that I think also really, really made this game alone from my friends having the game was simply the global trading system, because this kind of like changed the Pokemon world forever, pretty much. I mean, you could just go online and be like, I want this Pokemon, and I want this Pokemon in turn, and bam, and then you get it. I mean, sure, you could ask totally ridiculous things, but you know, you didn't necessarily have to have a friend who was playing Pearl in order to get version exclusives or anything like that. So that's what I just really, really liked about that game. So yeah, thanks guys. I know that some of these might have been out of order. I feel like my opinions are a lot different than a lot of people. So yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to like this video. Go ahead and comment down what is your favorite Pokemon game and what is your least favorite of like the normal series, not necessarily like, you know, Coliseum and all of that. But yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Thanks.